Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jai Prabhupada 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 Gaur Dayam Vishnupada Paramahamsa Pri Vrajagachaja Stotra Satya Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Terabai Charanarvin Bhakti Vedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Skandi Biti Founder Charya Divine Grace Sri Prabhupada ki Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur ki Samavata Bhakta Vrinda ki Harinam Sankirtan ki Jantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Gaur ki Manande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada ki. Before all these decorations come down, you can take a picture. This nice decoration here in front of the temple and also Yagyashala. Om Ajnanatirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Takshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatan Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitam Sya Hai Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tata Kantana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vansakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyarevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayan Rishi, supremmost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesha badreshu
Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Tamasloke
Bhagavata Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati
Bhaktir
Naistiki.
Bhavati Naistiki.
Make sure you get the chakra, close up of the chakra, close up of the chakra.
पूरा यज्ञशाला लीजिए चक्र के साथ चक्र का एक क्लोज अप.
By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil. And loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, whose praise with transcendental songs becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Idam Bhagavata Nama
Puranam Brahma Samitam
Puranam Brahma Samitam
Uttama Shloka Charitam
Uttama Shloke Charitam
Sakara Bhagavan Rishi
Sakara Bhagavan Rishi
Nishreyasaya Lokasya
Nishreyasaya Lokasya
Dhanyam Swasayanam Mahat.
Dhanyam Sasayanam Maha.
This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Shri Krishna Chaitanya,
Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda,
Prabhu Nityananda
Sri Advaita Gadadhara,
Sri Advaita Gadadhara
Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vinda.
Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vinda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare
Rama
Hare.
Rama, Hare Hare.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Sarabhyay Namaha.
Om Surabhyaya Namaha.
Om Sarabhyay Namaha.
Om Surabhyaya Namaha.
Om Sarabhyay Namaha.
Om Surabhyaya Namaha.
Mukam karoti vasanam pangum langayate girim yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to our morning Bhagavatam class, continuing from Canto number 1, chapter 12, verse
35.
Actually, we were reading a long purport yesterday that we have not finished,
Yes.
and therefore we will again take up 34. Of course, we have a short class today. We have a short class because we have another class at 8 o'clock, and therefore we have a 15-minute class right now, 15 minutes before 6:30 here in Sridham Mayapur. So text 34. We will read just once the text and then go to the translation, and we will continue from where we left off yesterday. Okay, text 34. Tena sambrita sambharo
Tena samvrita sambharo
dharma putro yudhiṣṭhiraha
Dharma Putro Yudhiṣṭhiraha
Vājimedaistribhira bhitto
Vādimedabhidvarito
yajñai samaya jad dharim.
Yajñai samayadharim.
Translation: by those riches, the king could produce the ingredients for 3-horse sacrifices. Thus, the pious king Yudhiṣṭhira, who was very fearful after the Battle of Kurukṣetra, pleased Lord Hari, the personality of Godhead. So continuing from the purport that we started yesterday, yes, Srila Prabhupada was making the point that even such a great personality as Maharaj Yudhiṣṭhira, who was the emperor of the world, felt that he should perform some sacrifice, yajña, to counter any unintentional fault or sin that may have been committed. So Srila Prabhupada makes the point that if such a great person as Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj can perform such activities or perform yajña, then what to speak of the common people of Kali Yuga, who are all very unqualified and in so many ways engaged in sinful activities, knowingly or unknowingly. So this, yes. If Maharaj Yudhiṣṭhira is a sinner in his daily discharge of duties, in royal administration of state affairs, wherein killing of men and animals is a recognized art, then we can just imagine the amount of sins committed consciously or unconsciously by the untrained population of the Kali Yuga, who have no way to perform sacrifice to please the Supreme Lord. The Bhagavatam says, therefore, that the prime duty of the human being is to satisfy the Supreme Lord by the performance of one's occupational duty. I believe that's what we had read up to that point yesterday. Bhagavatam 1 to 13. Samsiddhim haritoshanam. Yeah, the goal, purpose of all activity actually is to please and satisfy the Supreme Lord. Then Prabhupada continues here in the purport, let any man of any place or community, caste or creed be engaged in any sort of occupational duty, but he must agree to perform sacrifices as it is recommended in the scriptures for the particular place, time, and person. Kaladesha Patra. In the Vedic literatures, it is recommended that in Kali Yuga, people engage in glorifying the Lord by chanting the holy name of Krishna. Kirtana deva Krishnasya mukta sangha param brajat, without offense. By doing so, one can be freed from all sins and thus can attain the highest perfection of life by returning home back to Godhead. We have already discussed this more than once in this great literature in different places, especially in the introductory portion by sketching the life of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and still we are repeating the same with a view to bring about peace and prosperity in society. The Lord has declared openly in Bhagavad Gita how he becomes pleased with us, and the same process is practically demonstrated in the life and preaching work of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The perfect process of performing yajñas or sacrifice to please the Supreme Lord Hari, the personality of Godhead, who gets us free from all miseries of existence, is to follow the ways of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the dark age of quarrel and dissension. So that is Harinam Sankirtan. Maharaj Yudhiṣṭhira had to collect heaps of gold to secure the paraphernalia of the horse sacrifice yajñas in days of sufficiency. So we can hardly think of such performance of yajñas in these days of insufficiency and complete scarcity of gold. At the present moment, we have heaps of papers and promises of their being converted into gold by economic development of modern civilization, and still there is no possibility of spending riches like Maharaj Yudhiṣṭhira, either individually or collectively, or by state patronization. Just suitable, therefore, for the age is the method recommended by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in terms of the Shastra. Such a method requires no expenditure at all and yet can award more benefit than other expensive methods of yajña performances. It doesn't cost anything to chant Hare Krishna or to go out and perform congregational chanting. The horse sacrifice yajña or cow sacrifice yajña performed by the Vedic regulations shouldn't be misunderstood as a process of killing animals. On the contrary, animals offered for the yajña were rejuvenated to a new span of life by the transcendental power of chanting the Vedic hymns, which, if properly chanted, are different from what is understood by the common layman. The Vedanta mantras are all practical, and the proof is rejuvenation of the sacrificed animals. There is no possibility of such methodical chanting of the Vedic hymns by the so-called brāhmaṇas or priests of the present age. The untrained descendants of the twice-born families are no more like their forefathers, and thus they are counted amongst the Shudras, or once-born men in Kali Yuga. Kalu Shudra Sambhava. Everyone in Kali Yuga is born Shudra because we have not, to a large extent, maintained the various samskaras which can qualify actually one to be born. Even if one is born, even after following all the different samskaras, one still has to take up training and education, even though born in a Brahmana family. The once-born man, everyone is once born, the once-born man is unfit to chant the Vedic hymns, and therefore there is no practical utility of chanting the original hymns. So Prabhupada is making reference to the original Vedas, which are written in a form practically inaccessible to people in modern day age because it is very high level of Sanskrit, which the vast majority of people are totally untrained and therefore cannot properly chant the original Vedas. And to save them all, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propounded the Sankirtan movement or Yajna for all practical purposes. And the people of the present age are strongly recommended to follow this sure and recognized path. So this is the message being given here, that we should follow according to Kala Desha Patra, as Prabhupada made reference to in the purport. And Kala Desha Patra is especially understood and formalized and explained by those who are acharyas, or Vaishnava acharyas, and Srila Prabhupada being the founder acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, very nicely defined how we can perform our activities based on the Sankirtan Yajna. And of course, the basis of the Sankirtan Yajna is the chanting of the holy name. And Srila Prabhupada has also given guidelines, as we know, in terms of Varnashrama Dharma. Varnashrama Dharma is not excluded from the Sankirtan Yajna. We cannot misunderstand, should not misunderstand that Sankirtan Yajna is simply chanting 24 hours a day the holy name, unless we have the qualities of a personality like Srila Haridas Thakur, who could actually do that, or unless we are directly Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we cannot 24 hours a day be fully absorbed in the chanting of the holy name. But we can be fully absorbed in actually pushing on the mission of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as defined and as explained nicely by Srila Prabhupada. And this means introducing the simultaneously these two levels of dharma that we speak about very often, which are the practice of the chanting of the holy name, the practice of bhakti, devotional service, and also restoring the basic system and structure upon which Vedic culture is established. So as mentioned, our class is very short. We have time maybe for some short comment or question, if anyone has a question on what we have read. Yes, yes, Ishwarapuri. He has a question. He has a question. Yes.
So, Maharaj, in few places explaining nectar of devotion,
Yes.
and I have heard some teachers from Vada, the Govardhani village,
Yes.
that they kind of say,
The kind of.
say as a matter of fact, most of the acharyas do follow the Taiva Varnashma
Yes.
because it is instructed by the lineage, means their spiritual master,
Yes.
and it is also simultaneously a fact that it is not the highest pure form of devotion.
Yes.
So can you just speak on that if possible?
So the question is that it is instructed that we should follow Varnashrama Dharma because it is mentioned in the Shastra, but that it is not the purest type of devotion. Is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Any activity which is performed for the pleasure and satisfaction of the Lord is the highest form of devotion, you see. So that is why our acharyas differentiate between what is called Daiva Varnashrama and Asuric Varnashrama. Daiva Varnashrama or divine Varnashrama is that Varnashrama activity and system where Krishna is the center and where all activities are performed for the pleasure of Krishna. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually explains when we perform those activities of Varnashrama, which delineate actually what are the prescribed duties, Vedic prescribed duties, then those activities actually become bhakti. Those activities do not incur or create karmic reaction. So it depends on the consciousness in which activities are being performed. Those who don't know about Krishna, those who don't know about bhakti, the process of devotional service, they will work within the system of Varnashrama, but it is not pure. So those activities devoid of bhakti, those activities or that system of Varnashrama, ultimately, even today, Varnashrama exists everywhere because there are naturally people in these different categories, but they are disconnected with bhakti. They are disconnected with Krishna, isn't it? Even a brahmana, someone may be a brahmana, but he may not know, he may not understand that who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Most brahmanas actually have only the realization of Brahman, isn't it? Most brahmanas are impersonalists. So that is not the highest level of transcendental realization. So therefore, whatever is short of Krishna consciousness realization, that means it is incomplete. That means it is impure to some extent, isn't it? So therefore, we need to understand that the activities of within the system of Varnashrama, when performed in that high consciousness, then those are pure activities which will lead us to the perfectional stage of becoming qualified to go back home, back to Godhead. Varnashrama per se is not the goal; it is a means. It is the it is a tool. It is given to us by Krishna to accelerate. Prabhupada explains in the purport when discussing Bhishmadev, grandfather Bhishmadev, before leaving his body, is instructing Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj, and he begins his instructions by explaining the importance of the Varna and Ashrama system to Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj. And Prabhupada explains how, yes, this system is created by Krishna to accelerate our ability to actually develop spiritual qualities, to become freed from the entanglement of the material world. Is that helpful?
Yes, Guru Maharaj. If I may paraphrase my understanding based on what you just said,
Yes.
it's something like a booster for a Wi-Fi.
A booster for a Wi-Fi. Maybe, yeah. Maybe. Yeah. It is actually, for the vast majority people, it is necessary. And probably for all Wi-Fi's it is also.
Yes.
Because you don't, but bhakti is such that you don't really need varnashrama.
Yeah.
Pure bhakti, if one is due to previous, for example, activities, previous life, one is born like practically a pure devotee, then for him varnashrama is not as crucial.
Yes.
And one can even, one is not obligated to follow everything within varnashrama. But those individuals are extremely rare. For the vast majority of people, it is more, it is actually necessary to follow the various guidelines, rules and regulations within varnashrama system. Yes. Yes? Yes. Okay. Somebody else? Real quick? Okay. Okay. If there's no question, means everything is clear. Okay. So we will close for now. Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Jai Sri Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Gaura Premanande.
Jai.
And to those who ask questions, we give